Let's speak to Mehmet Celik, who's here in Istanbul. He's the editorial coordinator at the Daily Sabah. Great to see you, Mehmet. Look, without disrespecting any other world leader, Ahmad Al-sharaa, has he been to see the money man in Mohammed bin Salman? And maybe now he's coming to meet the man who can help with the political transition, the reintegration politically of Syrian society.
Well, I think, I mean, I wouldn't frame it as how you did, but
I'm a very simple
I think
person,
also,
as you know, Mehmet, you know. Yeah.
it is a very symbolic visit to both countries. And the reason for that is Saudi Arabia is seen as the bigger brother of the region when it comes to the Arab world or the Gulf region. But of course, Turkey has been heavily involved in Syria at many different levels, from humanitarian aspects to counterterrorism. Turkey has sent boots on the ground to Syria during the past decade and 10 years of this civil war that was going on. So it is very natural, very, I think, expected that Ahmed Al-sharaa would visit Turkey as one of the first countries that he would pay a visit to outside of the Arab world. And at many different levels, Turkey is involved. Turkey was involved in the past, and Turkey will be involved in Syria in the future years as well, be it from reconstruction of the infrastructure to institutional building to fighting against terrorism to this political transition. So Turkey is very closely tied with what is happening in Syria on the ground, and Turkey will be there to support the Syrians for a more stable future and for the political stability, economic stability, when it comes to counterterrorism and security related issues. So it's this visit will not be one that there will be many groundbreaking initiatives, but it is a step in the bigger picture. But it is at the same time very symbolic that Turkey is the first country that Ahmed Al-sharaa is visiting, if we don't count the Saudi Arabia visit, and I explain why that was also symbolic. Because Turkey, like you framed it correctly, Turkey will be the country that will coordinate this future that the Syrians are waiting for.
And in terms of security, do you see any possibility of the two countries working closely together? You said boots on the ground and literally the two militaries possibly working together. Might that even be something that Syria needs? In the north, you've got the terror groups. In the west, in that Alawite stronghold around Latakia, you've still got armed men with guns who are still loyal to the former regime. So security is an issue. Does Turkey have a role there directly inside Syria?
Well, Turkey has made it clear that it will not allow or accept this presence of a terrorist entity in northeastern Syria, and that being the YPG. And it seems that the transition government or the current administration is on the same page with Turkey. But Turkey has also proposed cooperation to rebuild Syria's military, and that infrastructure and institutionally it needs to be established before it can actually act as an organized front, organized military front, or an established armed unit as part of the government, so that they can carry out coordinated operations. But Turkey has also, like I said, proposed that initiative to help Syria form that. But right now, as you mentioned, there are two obstacles. There's different groups that are hesitating to join or standing against the administration, as in the YPG. But if that YPG does not lay down arms and become part of the Syrian army or the Syrian government as an average citizens of the country, then this will be a red line for Turkey. If Mr. Fidan and Mr. Erdogan, they have both mentioned that if they don't lay down arms, Turkey will have no choice but to actually intervene in the country and take care of that job, for the lack of a better word, and eliminate that threat that is not only against Turkey, but it's also a territorial integrity threat for the Syrians themselves.
Mehmet, thank you as always. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Adnan.